Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Motion Mixtape, and we back with our second session in the new spot. You feel me?
Absolutely, bro. Second session in the new spot. We excited as fuck. Obviously, a little bit more fitted now this time. I know. Last time we had a little technical difficulties, but we're chilling now, bro. And we definitely got a fucking fire session coming out today, bro.
Yeah, we worked through everything, and we're still getting stuff situated with the spot, but it's definitely gonna be a lot more organized than last session was. And
No,
we
yeah,
got some good stuff coming for this session, bro. How you been?
absolutely, bro. No, this is. I'm being excited, bro. But how you been, bro?
I've been really good, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. Just chilling.
definitely just trying to enjoy the time I got before we gotta go back.
Yeah, definitely,
We
bro. That's
literally
the
started
thing. Can't
classes
be
so
look.
soon, bro.
I know we dead ass about to start class like what in nearly on Monday. Well,
Or
no,
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Hmm.
yeah. Which is crazy, bro. Low key. I mean, the break was pretty long. Honestly, it
Yeah,
was a nice break
yeah,
compared to everything that we had before in high school.
yeah.
But definitely
Well
not.
needed.
It
It
was
was
a
a
well
well
needed
needed
break,
break.
yeah, for sure. I mean, but it's really it's good going to that second semester,
Yeah.
especially knowing how the college went that first semester. Because that first semester, like we were going in there like not knowing shit, not
Hmm.
knowing what to expect. And some people had it rough, some people had it okay. Some people had like a mix of everything.
Yeah.
I myself, I think I fought, but I think it wasn't horrible either.
Hmm.
So I think it definitely this next semester definitely got to lock in a little bit more,
Yeah.
but excited for it for sure.
Yeah. I was definitely glad with how last semester went, and it just helped with the adjustment, like to the college lifestyle and everything like that.
Yeah,
So definitely going into this next semester, we kind of know a little bit more of what to
yeah,
expect.
definitely feel more prepared and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
on that aspect. So I'm excited for it, and it's still gonna take it pretty chill this semester, but
Yeah.
definitely the point is to get progress little by little.
Yeah.
Graduate for sure, bro.
Oh yeah, for
We got
sure.
we
That's the
gotta we
end
gotta make it
goal.
out,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
Fuck yeah,
And these years gonna fly by quick though. So
yeah,
I
bro.
mean, I already with how first semester flew by, I know
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
know
look
it's
up.
gonna go crazy, bro. I mean, we were just before the session started, we were talking about how I went out a little bit ago and I said it was November, but like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit ago, that shit was fucking
Yeah,
like almost 3 months ago,
I
bro. It's
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months already.
Yeah, it's creeping up on it. Like
Yeah, bro.
it's how fast time has went. Like literally, it just felt like we were in November and
Yeah,
December
bro.
too. And now looking back on it, that was a month and a half, almost like 2 months since we've been in December.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
You know,
it's been crazy.
like
It's been crazy how time went, but we definitely had a good week full
oh
of
yeah,
a lot
for
of
sure.
stuff, full of news
Yeah,
happening
right.
in the world, bro.
Keeping up
So
with stuff.
so yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You've been keeping up with everything coming out.
Yeah, I've been looking a lot on the media. Just we always look
Yeah,
on the media when we looking for stuff to spark up conversation, and
absolutely. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot. In the entertainment world, especially when it comes to movies. I just saw this article, not an article, but I just saw this like one post talking about how the Top Gun is supposed to be coming out with another production for a third movie.
Yeah.
So I saw Top Gun Maverick, and I saw the first one too, but Top Gun Maverick clears. Like I don't know, that movie
Yeah.
was
No, it was a hell
that
of
was
a
a
movie. I
phenomenal
think.
movie.
I mean, when you talk about sequels, like most of the time people say that sequels fuck it up, but
Hmm.
some sequels are really well needed. I mean, some of the best movies in the world are sequels. Like
Yeah,
obviously, like the Dark Knight, like the second Batman
yeah,
movie was definitely the best Batman.
yeah.
Um, Shrek 2, bro. I mean, Shrek 2
That's like the best
clears.
Shrek. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. Sometimes they step it up a notch with the
yeah,
second
Top Gun
movie.
for sure.
And I remember when I was in theaters, and I walked out of the theaters, and all these people are just like, "Nah, bro, the first movie's way better." And I'm just like, "Dang,
No.
bro, like."
Well, some people just like to criticize shit.
Yeah,
Everybody be
yeah,
hating
they
on
be
everything.
blinded by the
And
nostalgia,
anything that's
bro.
out there, bro, just be talking about hating. Like,
Oh
nah, this
yeah,
is better. But I don't know. How do you
yeah,
feel about the third movie, though?
yeah. Like I mean, it's like it's the same question you just asked, or the same statement you just made about people liking to criticize. Sometimes I can understand it to an extent because whenever you get to making these third movies or like even a second movie, the stake is at an all time high because if you do really good, people are gonna want more. But it's like
Yeah,
when do you get to a point where that's too much, or
indeed.
you're producing too much and it's like you're not letting it go
Yeah,
because
that's
I
kind
feel
of like
like
the Fast and Furious shit. Because I
yeah,
think that's a prime example of.
that's the prime
But the thing
example.
is that I mean, definitely the first. I want to say the first three. I want to even say the first five Fast and Furious are really good.
Hmm.
Obviously, after the fifth one though, they were starting to get a little crazy with it.
Yeah.
Um, and little by little, it wasn't like a big drop, but little by little, they were going down. You know, obviously now it's just a fucking meme, bro. It's like
Exactly.
their motherfuckers are gonna fight the Avengers soon.
Exactly, right.
Uh, so,
Like
but I mean,
they can pop
it's
up
just
with
about the
crazy shit.
movie though. I mean, the money.
Yeah,
Because the thing is, like, if companies see that something's making a lot of money,
they're
they're
gonna keep
definitely
it.
gonna do it until they fucking can
Yeah,
get the
for
most
sure.
money out of it. Which I understand from a business standpoint, but like as entertainment, I think it's better to keep your quality
Yeah,
over. I don't know. The
yeah,
thing is also like, the entertainment industry is so different because a lot of people think it's yes, like obviously it's all about money, right? You want to make sure you everybody can pay, everybody can make good money,
yeah.
but sometimes if you compromise your quality, like maybe in the meantime, it's gonna produce a lot of money, but over a long period of time, it's
You
like
could
people,
lose
yeah,
some.
you can lose a lot because you're just
Hmm.
producing a lot of shit, and it's like, you know,
Yeah, I guess it just depends a lot on where the company is and like what their mindset is, and they have also plans for the movie like series.
yeah,
To me personally, like I haven't watched the Fast and Furious movies since after probably like five, like you said.
yeah,
And I mean, maybe I have no place to talk too much about them because the people that watch them, they have a say. But
yeah,
considering that it's a meme now of
yeah.
how long they're dragging it out, personally, I think that after Paul Walker died, they
It should have
probably
been,
not should have wrapped it up, but it should have been coming like to like a closure. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And they could have easily like made a closure with that, with him dying, and like with the whole like see you again shit, and yeah, like they could have easily did that and made it phenomenal. But once again, it can be a money grab, or if you see it's making money,
yeah.
they're
I
gonna
mean, I
keep
think I
producing
think that seven movies the one that has made them the most money,
it. Mm-hmm.
but I mean, even the eight, I think I watched all of them except for the last one that came out, the Fast X.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last. That's the one I haven't watched. But
Yeah,
apparently, that's gonna be the last one.
yeah. Apparently,
Well, that was supposed to be the last one, but then they decided to do a two part. So
mm-hmm.
I don't know. These
We'll see.
motherfuckers are just gonna keep going, bro.
Yeah. Like I really like how prime example like a show doing that is when they were announcing that they were gonna do the Black Panthers 2,
Yeah,
and then when Chadwick passed, they're like, okay, we don't know if we're gonna make another Black Panther, but it's like the way that they have it set up right now with the one and the two, and the way that they did the second movie, because I don't know if you saw it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like
No,
yeah,
I loved it. I
yeah,
think
it was
honestly,
phenomenal, bro.
real shit. I don't be crying in movies a lot. Honestly, I can name you like two, three movies that I cried in, but
Mm-hmm.
that's like about it. And it happens very. But Black Panther 2 was definitely one of the ones
Yeah.
that had me cry, especially just in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it was definitely more emotional,
Yeah.
especially because I'm a Marvel fanboy,
Exactly.
so definitely it definitely hit. But but yeah, I think that it was definitely well done. Yeah, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's been crazy lately too with the whole stuff that Marvel has been going through. By the way, they just released a show
Mm-hmm.
called Echo, which actually
Oh, I heard about
I
that.
started watching it, and not gonna lie, a lot of people are hating on it, saying that oh no, I don't, nobody cares about that. Like, not what the fuck is Echo, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But Loki, they're cooking.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode. They're cooking, bro, and
Yeah.
it's rated mature, so it's not like your regular, Disney show. Like
Nah, it's
this shit got blood in there. Like
yeah.
this shit is good, bro.
Yeah,
So
for
I'll
sure.
give it a try. The thing about Marvel shows now that I'm realizing is that they're very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, for example, they got really good shows like Moonlight or Loki, which
Yeah.
are like both seasons are great. Uh, I think another good show. I mean, I personally enjoy Hawkeye, which is
Mm-hmm.
where Echo came from, and then
Yeah.
the Captain American Winter Soldier. I also like
Oh
that
yeah.
one. They're all pretty good, but I mean, obviously the other ones are like really bad. You have
Mm-hmm.
like shows like you know I don't want to name drop, but Captain Marvel. I mean, no, Miss Marvel,
Mm.
and these other shows that are like
It's like
they're
what?
like I don't know what the fuck I'm
Yeah.
watching. So it's Marvel with shows is very hit or miss, but I think with this one they're cooking.
Yeah, and definitely like that's the thing too is that people aren't willing to give stuff a shot.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're always like, especially with Marvel, I hear a lot. People are just ready to be like, well, this isn't what we want, and Marvel's going downhill, this, that, and the other. And yeah, you can have your opinion on it, but at least try it because
yeah,
Marvel is definitely one of those companies that can afford to try out something different or
yeah,
like put out a different show and just see like it's like you said, it can be a hit or miss.
yeah.
And it's
No,
like,
and I think that's everybody. And then Loki, what I'm liking about Marvel. No, I'm like I said, everybody's still hating on it just because it's obviously been different. They're trying to rebuild everything up. But what I like about recent Marvel is that they're not afraid of making different kinds of shit. I feel
yeah,
like literally in all their new projects, whether it's movies or shows, there's definitely like a difference between like the way they shoot it, the way they storytell, the acting, the tone of the movie or the show. I think they're definitely trying to evolve a little bit. Obviously, they're kind of like in that process of you know, trial and error.
Yeah,
So obviously, it's gonna take them a while to get
exactly.
back to it, but I think eventually they will.
Yeah,
Well, at least I hope.
yeah. I mean, I don't feel like they're done yet.
No,
You
no,
know,
they're done. They're not
I
done
don't
yet.
think they're
They
close
they
to
definitely
done.
have. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff coming up. But they got the Fantastic Four. They got the X
Hmm.
Men. So there's just a lot of stuff that we haven't seen yet. But they're just
Exactly.
in a period of transition that they're trying to get.
Yeah,
But I mean, going back to the Fast and Furious movie, which one do you think is your favorite one?
bro. Probably either one of the early ones, like 2 or 3, bro.
Two or
Like,
three?
cause those movies came out like when I was younger and I was a kid, and that was probably the last time that I remember really watching a lot of the Fast and Furious movies like
Yeah,
that. I haven't watched any of the newer ones, and I stopped watching the series.
yeah,
So I was like, it's hard for me to put a pinpoint on like what my favorite movie is, because a lot of those I watched when I was a kid, and
yeah,
that was like the last time I could say. So I would say probably either the second one or the
yeah.
third one.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite one by far it's definitely Tokyo Drift. Like that one
Mm,
is just so iconic.
yeah,
The
yeah.
cars and everything, it was just really good. So I mean, the story obviously the Fast and Furious movies never had like a great story.
Hmm.
Nothing like Oscar winning type shit.
Yeah,
But it's
for
definitely
sure.
a fun movie to
Mm.
enjoy. And definitely I definitely think that the third one is one of the most true to its value. That is about cars. A little
Hmm.
bit about some action in there, but definitely Tokyo Drift takes it for me.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I wish too. Like, and not I wish, but I might have to end up going back and watching some of the newer ones just so I can have a true like take on it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, a lot of the hate that I hear about it is just them clowning on how long they're dragging it out, and I haven't seen any of the newer movies.
No, yeah. I
So
mean, they are dragging it out, and the thing is not necessarily that they're dragging it out, but they're just getting to the point where it's so much unrealistic that it's not true. Many people like the series mainly started with cars and shit, so
yeah,
that's what it is. But obviously now they're moving more into action stuff, which I understand, but it's also I don't know.
yeah,
Everybody's just there for the cars, man.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, bro. But I don't know if you saw, bro. I don't know. I think it was Rap that posted it on their Instagram. Did you see that they just made the last Dodge Challenger and Charger
Oh
in the
yeah,
world?
yes,
Yeah,
bro.
bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's where I literally find every news sources from now. They've turned into a news page at this
They
point.
they put everything, anything that happens in the world, whether it's fucking hip hop artists or and like an actual news or
Hmm.
anything crazy that people might find interest, they just put it up
Yeah.
in there.
And like the comments nowadays will be like, when they actually post something that's rap, they'll be like, rap finally being a rap page.
Young
Because
God,
they've
bro.
turned into a news page. Like, every source of news you can find on rap. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
did see that. Because
That
aren't they switching to like,
Yeah, everything's gonna be electric
hmm,
now, which is kind of
yeah,
crazy. Now because a lot of people really like the obviously the Hellcats
of
and the
course, yeah.
Challengers and all that stuff, but I don't know. I never really found myself in finding them like the best cars out there. What would
Hmm.
you be? What would be your dream car?
Bro,
Or what
that's
is your dream
crazy.
car?
That's crazy because literally, like, I was talking about the other day how much like the it's like the Black Ghost. I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw that model, and they only have like a certain amount of, like, it's not a lot
yeah.
of them that they produce. But I saw this one YouTuber that ended up getting it, and like that car is so fire. But when you look at terms of like mileage and gas,
No,
and
bro.
like, it's not
The
the
Dodge.
best
No,
car.
it's horrible, dude. It's not
Yeah,
even just
it's not
not.
even
It's not even
close
that
to
it's
like,
bad. It's horrible. Like
yeah.
just to have it on, and it takes like because I was watching. There's this guy on TikTok that does like rating on cars on like
Mhm.
different kinds of cars, where it's like obviously it's mainly more like luxury cars and
Yeah,
all this stuff, and he tells you like the features on there, like the gas mileage and all this other stuff that to help you kind of pick a car. But and it's mainly just crazy cars.
yeah.
But he was showing out, bro. Literally, he just drove it around the parking lot, and it took like 5 miles of gas, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it's
insane.
crazy. It's bad. It is
Yeah, bro.
bad.
I don't know.
That's the downside.
That's and then it's so unreliable too.
Yeah,
Like it's super nice. The bed is super fast and everything,
yeah,
but
but it's
still,
unreliable.
it's not the best car to really be driving around as your daily.
Hmm.
It's more like a thing to just just have it show
Have for
off.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'll be nice though, because a lot of people I feel like really underestimate the power of electric vehicles, bro.
Oh no, bro.
Like,
Electric vehicles are so much faster than
you can go
gas.
from 0 to 60 in
Mm,
like like
seconds,
3
bro.
seconds, bro. It's
Yeah, bro. I
crazy.
mean, I don't know if you've seen the videos of like Teslas going against
Hmm.
like like like
Yeah,
fucking.
they dust them.
Yeah, they dust them like
Yeah,
crazy, and it's not even like a crazy Tesla. It's just like a regular ass Tesla
yeah.
that just fucking just step on that
Like
shit. It's going like
people gonna
crazy.
be bringing electric vehicles to these drag races and shit.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
crazy,
definitely a cheat code, bro.
and like definitely our future is gonna be like
That's electric.
electric
Yeah, we're
vehicles are
definitely
gonna
gonna have
be,
Lightning McQueen before GTA 6, bro. It's not even a
bro.
joke, bro. That
No,
shit is
it's
gonna be driving
crazy.
by itself. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. My dream car. See, I'm a fan of old cars, like
Mm,
old cars, and I think my dream car for sure is Camaro
oh
60 from
yeah,
the '68 though. So
that's
like that shit
fair.
is old, but
Yeah.
it's definitely getting a little harder to find them, especially by the time I
Hmm.
actually have like the money and everything to actually get one,
It's gonna
bro.
be
It's
so
gonna be
hard.
so hard to find it.
Yeah, and then
But
like yeah, that's the only issue with old cars is that you literally like to find the parts for it if something goes wrong with it, it's like damn. Like I forgot what car my uncle has, but he has this one whip that's just in his garage, and I think he said one time that he left the key in like his pocket when we went to travel one
yeah.
day, and he left the jacket in the Uber.
Oh
So he left the key,
shit.
and then he had to like order a new key, but it was like you have to get the exact model and like or you would have to change the whole like wiring and like
Yeah.
it's crazy how much work you have to put in when it comes to those
Yeah.
old cars. But the
Oh, yeah.
people that do it, like they're really into those cars like that too.
Yeah.
So it
No, see,
makes
I wouldn't consider myself like a super car person because
yeah,
I feel like, you can tell when someone like really enjoys cars. See,
yeah.
I don't know a lot of the terms. I don't know a
I
lot of
don't
this
either.
shit.
Yeah,
But when I do like see like a nice car, obviously everybody loves like the new stuff, like the
yeah.
Lamborghinis and their
Mm-hmm.
and the Ferraris and all these supercars and stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm more of a fan of the classic stuff. So definitely
that's fair.
that Camaro 1968. That's definitely always gonna do it for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I've never
that's the
been.
dream though. That's the dream. That's like the only car that I'm actually willing to spend my time and money for it. But obviously
Mhm.
it will be in the future
Yeah,
because right now to find them probably looking $100,000 or something.
yeah.
It's gonna be
It's
crazy. It's
gonna
gonna
be
be crazy. But
yeah.
hopefully give me
Intense.
10 years and I'll fucking have it,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure. That's a good goal. I like setting goals. Like I don't know, we kind of switched in, I guess a little bit, but I like setting goals in a 10 year period because I
Yeah.
feel like that gives you enough time for error and try it. Like it gives you enough time for everything. So definitely,
Yeah,
that's a
for
good
sure.
goal to set for yourself.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm not gonna be like a crazy car person ever,
Yeah,
because I just don't think that's my vibe. Like I'm always
yeah,
gonna be more like I like cars, but as long as they work and
yeah.
take me to point A and B, and as long as they're
I'm
not a piece of shit, like that
exactly,
that'll do it.
exactly.
But but yeah, definitely. Eventually, I will have that Camaro.
Yeah,
But
I've never been a big car guy, so
yeah,
I feel you on that.
yeah, no, it's definitely. I don't know the people that do it. My respect for them, just because
Yeah,
it's a lot of money and time that goes into it.
hmm
Uh,
it's a hobby
it's
basically.
it's 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 basically a hobby. I don't know. It's like their own thing, and the people that really have the patience for it, my respect for them.
Oh
Because
yeah, for
I don't know.
sure.
I'm more of a just as long as that shit drives, bro.
Yeah, I need someone that drives, that works, and
That
that's
works and
not
it
going to
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
break
fucking look like
down.
shit. Yeah, and I will do it. But yeah, bro. I mean, besides that, bro, it's been a crazy week, especially about music, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were just talking about cars, right? And like,
Yeah,
you know, I always, every time I'm driving, I gotta have some music going, bro.
absolutely,
Like,
bro.
and yeah, music has been crazy this week. We were just talking about last episode
Yeah,
how we were gonna try to go to this Cardi concert and the
yeah, and then
tour,
like
and
2 days
then
later,
2 days later, he pushed back the
postpone.
tour.
Yeah, everything. I don't think he will put dates
Yeah,
anymore because the last time that
last
he
time.
pushed it back, he actually gave us dates.
Hmm.
But this time he just said, "Nah, we'll find
Yeah.
out when."
And that's crazy to me because Cardi just went on this run of dropping those singles. And
Yeah,
after he dropped the Backroom single, he's like, keep streaming and I'll drop another one. And it's been like, what, how long since he's dropped that shit? So it's like
probably. Yeah,
he puts
he's
out
trolling,
the
bro.
yeah, he
That
puts
boy is
out these
trolling.
like these little hints and we get a glimpse of hope of him dropping something and
Yeah,
then
and
he
then
just disappears,
he
right?
just gone.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm lucky grateful he dropped, what 4 or 5
Yeah, for
songs that he
sure.
dropped, but it still it's like, bro, we did that project. It's been too
Yeah.
long.
Man, three going on 4 years,
Like
bro.
literally all he's doing is like he's fucking up like with his fans, bro. And also,
Hmm.
like that's the people that you gotta maintain happy. Like
Yeah,
fuck the critics, fuck the media, just make your fans happy. But this bro, that ass don't give a fuck.
exactly,
That ass
bro.
like nah, fuck. I'm not. We'll see when the concert happens. We'll see when the album
Exactly.
happens.
Dude, it's crazy. I was literally just talking with my girl the other day and I was telling her about it. And she was like, if I was a diehard Cardi fan, I would be mad, bro. Because this is not the first time that Cardi has done something like this.
Yeah.
And just the way that he can be with his fans sometimes is like, bro, like
Just yeah, it's not that hard. It was like, all right, maybe I don't know. I
I
just feel
get
like
shit
this hard. It's
happens.
just. I mean, if you're really dead ass, don't plan on doing anything, or you're just gonna be doing that. Don't post anything. Like,
Exactly.
just stay quiet for until you actually decide to do it. But
Yeah.
don't fucking like
Keep
give
teasing
yeah.
it. And I get like the really I feel like the whole purpose behind it is to build up the hype. But
I
it's
don't
like
know. It. I understand it, but it's also can be like really, it could be like
yeah,
backfire really bad.
exactly, because then you keep doing it, and how long is it gonna be before a bunch of these diehard Cardi fans are just like, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Because you can go get that from a different artist, bro.
Yeah.
And like you see these people, like I don't want to say that Yeet is a Cardi clone, but like you get people like Yeet who like Yeet's putting out a project every year for his fans, bro.
Yeah.
So like you have people that are gonna just be going. If they could go find your type of music in another artist, even though that artist has like a different style, but it's
Yeah.
still like the same kind of music, they're gonna do that. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we saw that when before Cardi had did that single with The Weeknd,
Yeah.
he was like at I think 14 or 13 million monthly listeners, which is still a lot,
Yeah.
but it was a lot less than what he was at when he dropped Whole Lot of Red. So it was like that would have been the perfect time for him to start getting
To
the album
build
rolled
up.
out.
Yeah.
It's because now he has hella monthly listeners. But it's like if you
Yeah. No,
keep
I don't.
teasing
It
and you
gets
keep doing all
easily.
that,
Yeah.
people are gonna just leave.
Yeah. No. It's becoming annoying for sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not necessarily like a Cardi fan, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously, since he doesn't have a lot of music out, I do happen to listen to all his
Yeah,
music.
for sure.
So, I'm just like, I'm excited to see what he comes up with, but
Yeah,
definitely it's starting to become a little bit of annoying.
exactly.
But I'm also not, at this point in time, I'm not expecting anything from him anymore.
No.
I just hope that whenever it does come out, it's good, and obviously we'll enjoy it. But I'm not expecting a date or nothing. It's just eventually gonna happen at some
Yeah,
point.
at some point it's just gonna be random. Like when he did Whole Lot of Red, like the freaking promotion for that album before it dropped, bruh, everybody was like, he's not gonna do it, he's not gonna do it, and then he actually did it, bruh, and it was like, damn.
Yeah,
So that's why I was like super hyped because they kept talking about January. He was gonna drop January, and then
yeah.
he was gonna go on tour, and then he postponed the tour, and I'm like, all right, no
There's
hope.
no, yeah,
We'll see when
there's
he
no
drops,
hope. There's
right? He
no
might
hope.
drop next year, like.
Yeah, same thing with Kanye though, which
Yeah,
he's been
Kanye,
pushing
same shit.
the fucking album so long. Well, I don't know what
Who
to
knows
expect,
when we're
bro.
gonna get a Kanye album, bro?
When who knows when we'll get that project?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen, but
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
for
know. This
sure.
motherfucker's gonna push it back all the way to 2025, bro.
Right. It's just crazy. It's like, but then at the same time too, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we probably don't know about
No,
with
yeah,
sample clearings and all that shit that gets these artists pushed back on. Which
yeah,
I get it, but at the same time, it definitely gets frustrating from a fan perspective because like people been waiting on Kanye to drop.
yeah.
People been waiting
I
on
think the one of the perfect examples of we don't know what's going behind the room. There's this artist. Uh, he's from Puerto Rico. His name is Alvaro Diaz. He's not very known. He's still very low key.
Kanye.
Um, but his last album that he put out, it was like a great album, one of the best albums that we got on 2021. It was a year where Bad Bunny didn't drop like an album, so he was definitely like getting album of the year contender. It was a great project, and people still listen to it. And then obviously his next project was going to be Sayonara,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's been teasing the album to. It was supposed to come out in 2022, but it's been getting pushed back all because of that. But it wasn't necessarily because of him. It was because I believe I'm not sure if it's the record label that he's with or
Mm,
something. They don't want him necessarily to release it yet. It's not
yeah.
that he doesn't want to release it. It's just they're not letting him release it yet.
That makes
So
sense.
right now he's starting. He's starting to put out singles for it for the last couple. For the last 2 years or so, he's been putting out singles. Especially last year, he put a lot of singles out of the album, and but he started like this campaign called Free Sayonara, just the label allows it to release the album.
Yeah,
So
that's
definitely
fire.
hoping for that project though, because so far the singles that he put out for that project, bangers, all of
Yeah.
them, and it's very more like an alternative. It's not necessarily like reggaeton or anything. It's more like alternative
Oh,
music,
okay.
but it's really good.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get the album this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing that sucks too is that you get these rappers that get, or like not even just rappers, but artists in general that get under these shitty labels.
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't say that Top Dog is a shitty label, but when they had Kendrick, when he was there, and
Yeah.
then they got SZA there, artists like Isaiah Rashad, Zachary,
Yeah.
like all of them were dropping in like 5 year increments because I'm guessing that's what the Top Dog label was. Like damn, the distance between Damn and Mr. Morale, it's like 5 years. When SZA dropped
The control
Control
and
to SOS was like 5 years. So like
yeah.
they drop in like that they kind of stretch out their music, which for certain artists that actually works out better.
Yeah.
Like for Kendrick, he can do that.
Yeah.
For SZA, she can do like they both became like some of the most streamed artists.
Yeah, when
like
they
back
actually
in the charts again after they dropped those albums, and it's not like they ever left the charts. So
yeah.
some artists can do that, but you get to the point too as like an artist like sometimes that can be draining because it's like you trying to drop a single or you trying to drop an album and your label's sitting here telling you, nah, don't do that yet. And it's like
Yeah.
you want to give the fans some music. You want to let the fans eat, right?
Yeah,
So,
bro. No, it's definitely complicated. Like I just said, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, but sometimes it's just sometimes the artist is just fucking who's like Cardi, bro. We'll find out when that happens.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what did drop this week, bro.
Yes.
Let's talk about that 21 Savage project.
Right. Have you listened to it yet?
Oh, absolutely, bro. I mean, it was such a great project.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Bro. Like I don't know, like maybe it was like a first listen thing, or like just because it was good to hear another 21 project. But
it's been a while since we got one by kind of like his solo project,
which was Savage Mode 2.
Yeah, Savage Mode 2. I mean, it was obviously with Metro, but it was definitely more like his project because he was the main rapper in it. Obviously, Metro just produced everything, which made it really good. But I mean,
it's just crazy. Like I was just talking about this with my friends. It's like when you look at the growth that he's had from like all of his projects to like the first project he had a couple of hits like with X and No Heart, and then it was just like ever since then, bro, each album just got better and better. And like
absolutely.
with Savage Mode 2, I was like, all right, this is the best 21 we gonna get.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it was like seeing this album is almost like he outdid himself in my opinion.
Yeah, and even with her loss, obviously being not necessarily. I mean, everybody says it was more like a Drake project, which I agree. Definitely, Drake had a lot more, protagonism in that project. But definitely, whenever 21 show up, he was doing his thing. He showed up for it. As a feature, obviously, everybody knows 21 Savage. If he's a feature, he's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, as his own project, he definitely has bangers. Yeah. I mean, some of the songs that stood out from that project was obviously, Nina with Travis Scott, which oh my god, that song is too good, bro. And obviously, some of the
Summer Walker song, bro. 21 slid on, and both of them did.
No, yeah, and obviously Summer Walker delivered.
That song was probably my favorite off of that album.
No, I mean definitely going into the album. I mean obviously I love more the R&B style of rap, so I think 21 knows how to balance all that. So I think he really did good on that. What's it called? You should have won over there with Brent. Obviously,
I've been listening to hella Brent recently too, so I was hyped for that track.
That track was really good, and then even the one with Young Thug, that one was really good.
I like that song too. Even though everybody's talking about that bar, it smell like gas and somebody poop. Like
that was funny.
That's a crazy
I was listening in the car and I was like, what the fuck did he just say?
I was like, ain't no way, bro. Like it's crazy, like too, because you were mentioning him as a feature artist. A lot of people know him for a feature artist too, because he does his thing on features. But I think this was the album that like he really was able to prove himself. Like I'm not just a feature artist. No. Yeah, it was. There were some features, like we didn't get a Drake feature, we didn't get a Cole feature, but I don't think that was nothing personal. Like I don't think it was because they had beef. I think it was just
especially with Drake. Drake and 21, they're locked in. Bro. I mean, fucking 21's facing his fucking front door, bro. That's crazy.
Literally.
That his face is on. Put that on the clip, bro. His face is that ass on his front door,
bro. Literally, bro. Like. So I don't. It's not a personal thing, and I think I'm kind of glad that Drake wasn't on the album because
everybody was expecting it.
I was expecting it, but I also, like I said last session, I want to see a little break from Drake, even though he's been dropping a lot recently, and I'm happy for that because I like listening to his music. He's one of my favorite artists, but I want to see a little break from just him being in the charts.
Like, kind of like how at some point everybody was expecting that every Drake or Future project they would have like a feature together. Yeah. And then obviously, in Future's recent album, Drake was on it, but like for example on For All the Dogs, I don't think Future wasn't on it.
No, Future wasn't on it.
Yeah, but it's like they don't have beats. Sometimes it's good to kind of like switch it up a little bit. which is good. I mean, a lot of people always expect people that always collab to always be in each other. I don't know, it's not like a necessary. It's just whenever I think it's better when they don't always do something together because it's just like
Exactly.
you need to prove yourself if you can be more than just Drake's feature or 21's feature or
And
whatever.
I think it's done for a reason too. It's just like when you had for all the dogs. You know,
Yeah.
Travis wasn't on for all the dogs.
Yeah, and it was like almost, and it was since I think pretty much ever since company since if you're reading this is too late, Travis was in almost every Drake album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah.
Exactly, and like Drake was on Travis's album, but like I don't think him not putting Travis on his album was a personal thing.
No, yeah, a lot of
And
people just
also
be making shit
it gave
out of it.
Meltdown a chance to have it shine, in the charts.
Yeah,
instead of like Drake running the charts with a Travis feature,
Yeah.
So I think that definitely like all plays in a part, and I'm satisfied with that 21 album because he did his thing, even on the solo tracks,
Yeah,
even
definitely.
on. I don't really listen to Doja Cat like that, but that song was not bad.
No. I like that old Doja
Yeah.
Cat though. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
old Doja Cat hits.
like that pink album.
Yeah. That
shit
album
fire,
is fire, bro. I've been listening to that, even though it's not necessarily like rap, but it's more like pop.
Yeah,
But bro,
that
I'll
shit's
be
fire.
fucking with that
It's
shit.
got bangers on bangers on that
bro.
album.
I mean, a lot of it were TikTok songs, but even still, they hit, bro. They hit.
And even on her newest album, I mean, she had like
shit.
2 songs that still went hella viral. But like her old shit was like, it was
iconic, bro.
Yeah, so definitely that was cool seeing a different feature.
Yeah.
And then the features and the songs, I was really expecting his album to be it's for the movie that's coming out in July.
Yeah.
But I was really expecting that the album was gonna be like a movie soundtrack, like dedicated to the movie. It wasn't gonna be nothing crazy, but he really like he did his thing on the album. So it's like an album that still has replay value and it builds up the hype. So when the movie comes out, it's gonna be fire. Because I don't know if you heard about the movie that he's gonna drop.
No.
It's with Childish Gambino.
Oh shit.
And the guy that plays Lucas from Stranger Things.
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
And then there's a couple of other actors in there that are also really good, but it's supposed to be like this I don't want to say assassins, but like they're like I don't know. You gotta go see the trailer. Like
we're gonna check out the trailer after this.
But it looks like it's gonna be very good, and just the fact that like the 3-head cover is Caleb McGowan, 21 Savage, and Childish Gambino. I was like, yeah, that's enough for me to when I watch the movie.
Definitely.
Like, that's 3 great actors right there already.
Yeah, no, definitely hard for it. But I mean, another person that dropped was Kali Uchis, bro. Yeah. Which I don't know if you listened to the project.
No, I haven't yet. But
oh my god, first Kali Uchis has like a quality that never dropped. Yeah, like all her albums, obviously the features are really good. Mm-hmm. All of her albums have really good quality content. Obviously now in recent years she has switched more from that English music to a little more Spanish. But I mean, definitely you find a good balance on this album, and I mean, I think obviously she didn't have a lot of features. She only had, I believe, 5.
I heard the song with Rao was phenomenal. Right?
Yeah, Rao, which was a remix from her previous song, No I Lay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was she had already dropped that song, but it was just by herself. But this was a remix because it was called Part 2. Mm-hmm. Really good. Obviously, Rao, she's on his peak right now, so everything that he does is going viral. Definitely another artist that she did it was Karol G, which that song dropped a couple months ago or a month ago or so. That one was really good. And obviously, the main highlight, what everybody's talking about, is her song with Peso Pluma, which obviously, Peso Pluma, like he's at his best right now. He's obviously his top artist in the world, but the thing is that his style is a little more into that Mexican, style of music. And then obviously going into this project, we didn't know what to expect. Yeah. Obviously, another thing about Peso Pluma is that although his main thing is Mexican music, he also has done a little bit of reggaeton. Yeah. He's done a little bit of hip hop. He's done a little bit of different things. Not necessarily that just stick him to it, but it's obviously nothing crazy like making a whole different pop track with Kali Uchis, which by the way he ate it up. He did good. Yeah, it was really good. I think his voice fit really well into it, and a lot of people are like, a lot of people before the album drop were like kind of like hating on it, like I don't know what this guy's gonna do, and I don't know if his name is gonna do good, but everybody, it was fire. Everybody's talking about how he shocked everybody as a feature, although his feature is not very long, his verse is not very long, but whatever he did good. And the track, I think, is definitely up there for sure. I think it might be my favorite track of the
Yeah,
whole album.
I think I'm gonna have to give it a listen too because like it's just like even though like I don't clearly like fully understand Spanish, but it's like I gave it a chance with like Bad Bunny's album too, and also this is her second album in fully Spanish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so like I've given it a chance with Kelly too on other albums too because like it's really just to me it's about the quality of music and like how it sounds too, and then even also it's not like I can't go and like actually look at what like
yeah,
the
yeah.
lyrics are
Like you
saying.
can really translate
So
it. Yeah,
it's perfect too because like Callie is definitely one of those artists that like I enjoy her music a lot.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, I remember I went to Camp Flogna and she was talking about this album that just dropped. She was talking about how it
Yeah,
was gonna release and she teased a little bit there actually. So
that's good.
I got a lot of like high expectations for it. I feel like it's definitely gonna be
No,
an album
it's
that
definitely a great album.
yeah because I heard a lot
Obviously,
of people talking about it as
I
well.
mean, definitely we got two really great projects to start off the year, so I'm really happy for the music that's coming
Mm,
out for the rest of the year.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was good, but obviously, I think the biggest drop thing it was definitely the hair analysis that she's pregnant with
Yes,
Don
right.
Toliver, bro.
Yes, that was actually like very like dope to see too, because like I mean they're both phenomenal artists,
Yeah,
and just like crazy news coming out like that,
yeah,
bro. That was phenomenal. Like it's good for them
yeah,
for sure.
definitely. No, I mean, it's crazy. Everybody, I was seeing a lot of TikToks. It's like when I find out Caliucci's is pregnant,
Yeah,
it's not
everybody was
mine. Everybody
mad.
was mad, bro.
Bro,
Nah,
I
real
know
shit.
everybody was mad.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
saw those comments.
no, for sure. No, but I mean, it's so crazy to me how celebrity couples work because I don't know if you really think about it, bro. Being a celebrity couple is hard, bro.
Yeah,
Like I feel like everybody's like being like I don't know if regular people already have problems putting out their relationship out because they feel like
yeah.
some their friends or someone could fuck it up. Imagine like a
Being a celebrity.
celebrity where everybody knows you
Yeah,
and everybody like the center of attention is onto you.
yeah. Trying
Your
to keep it
relationship is
private
hard, bro.
too.
Yeah, trying to keep it private is crazy.
But like Callie definitely feel like did a good job of keeping it private. Like both of
Yeah,
them did. Because
no,
I mean, even like I said, I mentioned going to Camp Flogna, like you would have never known, like you would have never heard, like she never mentioned it either too. So it's like they
yeah.
definitely did a good job of keeping it private, but it's gotta be super hard to do that. I mean, like
And it's really, I mean, if you really think about it, most of the celebrity couples, even if they try to keep it private, it comes out.
yeah,
Even if they don't post
ASAP
anything
and
about it,
Rihanna.
like really, yeah, ASAP and Rihanna, or when I mean, I don't know if Bad Bunny and Kendall are still together, but when
Hmm.
the news came out, everybody was like crazy about it.
Yeah.
Last thing I heard from them is that they broke up, but I'm not quite sure on
Mm,
it. But either
yeah.
way, like it is so
The
crazy
news
to,
getting out there.
yeah, it's so crazy how news travel, especially being a celebrity. I don't know, being a celebrity and having a couple is, and also them being a celebrity is definitely a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Or like the whole Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift shit.
Yes,
Like I
bro.
mean, I don't know, it's so crazy to me. And
Hmm.
also another thing too is like when you're in a public relationship like that, like a celebrity couple, like the pressure of being a
Perfect.
good person for it's crazy
Yeah,
because
people
anything you do will come out there.
exactly. And people start to look up at these couples and they're like, bro, like, people are going to idolize them,
Yeah,
but it's like, as that person in that shoe, you have like so much pressure on
yeah,
your belt to be perfect, like be the perfect couple. And that's like so unrealistic too. So it's like anytime any little thing could happen
yeah,
or
bro.
get out there, it's like,
Yeah, like
you
have you
know,
seen the drama that Cardi and Offset have been on
yes,
lately? Yeah, that
yes,
is
bro.
crazy,
That is
bro.
crazy. That is very
And then
crazy.
I mean, obviously, a lot of people are like, everybody's like obviously on Cardi
Yeah.
B side and everything, which I mean, I don't know the story, so I don't want to like put my
Yeah,
whole
because what I heard it was Offset cheated, and I mean,
yeah,
but also Offset has cheated before, so like
yeah.
it's like he's known for being a cheater, like
Yeah, I don't, and it's a crazy thing too. But it's like obviously when you start judging people, it's like okay, maybe some stuff that come out there, but
yeah,
it's like you don't know the whole story either. So it's
exactly.
always so easy to judge and shit.
Hmm.
But like I said, the pressure is crazy. So like
Yeah,
anything you do and everything you say about the other person, it's just yeah, it's
exactly.
gonna be so jumping in so many ways. It's just a pressure. It's insane.
Yeah,
If you already have pressure as like a regular person being in
person,
a relationship, imagine when you actually have that many people
exactly,
looking
bro.
at you, because it's not just like your friends and everything. It's like the media and everybody's gonna try to get that like highlight note to
To
put
twist
out
it
to
too, or
twist it
like
to
just
yeah
anything, bro. Yeah, it's just hard because like anything that you do will be taken in a certain context, even if the other person don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Or like just you have a lot of stuff going out on social media right now with just social couples. Anyway, I don't know if you heard about Simone Biles or any of that situation, but
No, I haven't
basically her
heard.
husband was like going on a like rant about him being the prize, and
Shit.
social media took that and ran with it. So
Damn.
it's like as a social media couple, or not a social media couple, but as a celebrity couple, you're
Yeah.
already at a heightened extent.
Yeah.
Like you have to like it's hard to keep like that relationship private as much as you try to keep it because everything's gonna come out, and people are just, there's social media warriors that are just looking for that
For
one moment
for
that
that
you
one
slip up
slip.
just
Yeah.
to throw you under the bus on social media and then
Oh
you're
man,
cooked,
you're
right?
cooked, bro. It's
So
crazy.
it's
No.
it's way harder than being in like a regular relationship because like I
Indeed.
mean even like now like I feel like what measures would you say that you take as an everyday person just trying to like if you were in a relationship, like what measures would you say that you would take to try to keep privacy?
Indeed. No, and it's crazy too. It's like, you know, a lot of people. I don't know because the thing about being a couple is so hard these days, especially with social media having out there. Because everybody like maybe I don't know. And then maybe like an example would be like, for example, let's say you, like back in the day you were like a player or something.
Yeah,
And people knew about that shit. Like let's say you have a past, right? And if you get in a relationship and you're doing good, but then obviously, let's say you don't bring the past to your couple or anything. I don't know. Let's just say it wasn't really like mentioned, but it's
yeah,
just because it's not you anymore, so it doesn't really
exactly,
matter. But then just let's say I don't know, you post your personal there, and all of a sudden like all this stuff that happened a long time ago, it
it
starts
comes
to come
back.
back, and it just questions everything. So it's just
Exactly.
crazy, and that's just being like a regular person. It's
Yeah.
so hard. The thing is not like now in the time period that we live in, it's so crazy today
Yeah,
because everybody like I don't know. A lot of people want to make sure they have like that old school, uh, relationship
yeah, the
where
one that
it's like
'90s
that. They're like
vibe.
yeah, they're like sweetheart shit, like
Yeah,
that stuff where you go on there, you hold hand, all this stuff. But it's so hard to kind of have that relationship in this modern era because everybody's just so like media just changed everything,
yeah, and caught up in the present and like
Yeah,
what's going on. Yes, bro. I was just talking about this with my girl, and I was like talking about how, a lot of people take social media, and I mean we even were talking about it a little bit last
yeah,
session, but just in a different aspect. But like a lot of people will take social media and like what the principle of social media is and consider that to be like their life.
yeah,
So it's like then you have like wanting to have that old school like lovey type relationships,
yeah,
like one that where it's like okay, it don't matter about the
yeah.
bread, it don't matter about like this that if we can have that love together, like that's what matters type shit. But then we're also in a new age and modern like society
Yeah.
where a lot of people view things a lot differently now too.
Yeah. You,
And
you think love has not necessarily like, well, not necessarily changed, but like evolved to something different nowadays?
in certain ways yes, but no, like I think love definitely has evolved in like in different ways, and love comes in many different forms, especially for different people.
Yeah.
But like also you have certain like I mean you could say roles, but I don't want to say like a relationship, it means like a role, but just in each like what you do for your partner and
Yeah.
what things people would consider as love, a lot of that is starting to change now too. So
Yeah.
like it's kind of hard to base this off of that too. Like I mean it's like back in the day people talk about traditional relationships, right? And
Yeah.
they'll be like okay, like back in the day the man would go and work and
And
then
work and
like
then provide for the woman.
yeah, provide for the woman, and the woman will stay home, cook, clean, and take care of the children. But like nowadays,
No,
bro,
nowadays that's not how it is.
that's not how
No, I
things
think
roll.
even this I don't know. Yeah, I would even say that now obviously uh almost like the woman has almost I think more and I don't want to say more control over the relationship, but it's not like the same where obviously like everybody wanted like well, back in the day, everybody say, "Oh, the man has to take care of the relationship. He's the one that wears the pants and shit."
Yeah,
Like he's the one in control of everything. But now it's like different now. Like now, women also have almost as not necessarily that they need to have it, or I don't know. The way I see it is like they also have a big role like that. It's
yeah,
like it's not about who's wearing the pants anymore. It's like
exactly. It's like you're supposed to both wear the pants
both, yeah, wear the
together,
pants together. Yeah,
and like that's definitely the society that we're in, and I feel like that's definitely a step up because
yeah,
I you see these like I would see videos where like you know a family would go out to dinner, right? And like the kids are screaming and crying, and you'll see the wife that's like taking care of it while the husband's like chilling laid back on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously that's an example out of many. Like it's not like that's every couple
Yeah.
or
Or it can be
everything.
the opposite way as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. So it's like you got to have that effort from both ends. You know, it shouldn't just be all on the husband. It shouldn't just be all on the wife. It should be like, and vice versa. It should just be as a couple, you should just come together and you both like discuss, like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what we should do, like for each other to make things like better for each other in our relationship. Especially when you start to talk about bringing kids in the picture too, because then it
Yeah.
becomes a whole different situation.
Yeah,
You know?
no, and obviously, and then I think we're in a time where it's definitely, raising a woman is definitely gonna be different than raising a woman back then.
Mm.
Because you go back to like not too far ago, you go back to the 70s or 80s, everybody
Yeah,
was raising a woman to be
yeah,
a homebody, be that perfect wife, be the
yeah,
perfect girl. Now it's like, all right, your girl is like the way the world is moving is like if you raise like for example a girl, like you gotta teach her really to kind of like be like a girl boss. Like you gotta really teach her to work out there for herself and not really necessarily like because everybody, I guess the West see it like back then everybody was raising their girl to be the perfect wife, but
yeah.
now you're just raising to be a
A strong
strong
woman,
woman.
exactly.
It's like and it might be similar, but it's not necessarily the same thing because you can be a strong woman and a good wife, but not just be I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, I get that. You can be both, but it's also like nowadays a lot of the focus too is on raising that strong woman because
Because like
society
now,
is
yeah,
changing and you have to
like
like change
you
with the
no
times
longer
too.
everybody was raising the perfect wife because they were expecting to be with someone
Yeah,
to end up being married. But now we're in a time where like, what if she
not
doesn't want
yeah.
to
What
marry?
if
What if she
somebody
don't
doesn't
want
want
to
to get
marry?
married?
Or
You
yeah,
know,
what if she doesn't
same.
want to have kids? Like you might
Exactly,
make sure you raise the person that's ready to take on the world, in
exactly,
whichever situation, whether they're alone or not.
exactly. And that's definitely I feel like the biggest change that you know you have a lot of people that are upset about that, or a lot of people that complain about that because like they like have their traditional values. And don't get me wrong, I feel like definitely having like some traditional values isn't like an issue. But
Yeah,
also it's like one thing that I believe personally is that like while having some traditional values is okay, you also have to like stay inclined with like the times.
yeah, because everything
And it's
evolves.
good to have a balance of both.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. And I think also going back to like raising their the strong woman. It's also the same thing with kids. I feel like a lot of
Exactly.
people nowadays everybody's raising their kids to to like back then everybody's like, oh, you have to work, you have to do
Yeah.
this, you have to be strong, you
Gotta
can't
be at
cry,
the
you have
house
no
by
emotions. Yeah, you
18.
gotta be you
Yeah.
gotta take on the world, you gotta take on everything. It's like nah, not anymore. Like, oh, you also gotta learn how to respect women. You gotta learn how to
Hmm.
respect, be accepting on everything, be
Yeah.
understanding of how having right emotions and all this stuff.
Exactly.
And that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of problems that I, I don't know if I want to say this, but I feel like a lot of the problems that some relationships have is because they didn't have the right education when they were young,
Mm.
and not necessarily saying that that even if you had like you were in a situation where you necessarily were raised by the best person that you cannot be great,
Exactly.
but also it's all about like
The
learning,
experience.
yeah,
And
experience as
sometimes it
well
could
as
be
yeah,
harder depending on like what your situation was as well. And that just that definitely takes like from an outsider's perspective, being like an other person, like viewing in on that, it definitely just takes some like willing to work through and patience too,
yeah,
willing to work with that person and partner. So that's why when it comes to like loving someone or like being in a relationship like that, everybody like you will find like a person that suits like you. I don't want to say suits you or like your needs, but like you'll find that person that's like you should find that person that's like you're willing to do these things for because you love them, not because you're trying to like get something out of them or like
yeah,
vice versa. Like and it just ultimately comes down to like both parties being able to work in and it not being like on one party's working in and then one party's not just because they were raised a certain way. Because definitely like being raised definitely has an impact on that, but also it doesn't keep you stuck
no, it
there.
doesn't start you
It's
that.
like you still have an opportunity to get out of that. It's just gonna take work, and it might take harder work than a different person might. But it doesn't mean that like you can't get out of that.
Yeah, no, and, it's definitely like I said, being in a relationship is definitely more complex now than before.
Mm.
But it's all about really working it out, and every situation is better. I feel like a lot of people nowadays here. I don't know if you remember when we were talking couple episodes ago. When I think we were doing a Q&A that
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about like kind of like this talking stage.
Mm-hmm.
And anymore, I don't know. I was
I remember that.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, is the talking stage really a thing? Like, I don't know. Here's my question: do you need to be loyal in this talking stage? Because here's the thing: a lot of people, the way people see the talking stage, like you're talking, you're going out on dates and everything. You're
Yeah.
kind of like you you categorize yourself as talking, and you're doing all this like boyfriend girlfriend thing,
Yeah.
where it's just like you're going out on dates, you're going out, you're hanging out with your friends, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You're introducing, you're talking about them. And maybe you might even post them during the talking stage. This or this and that. Basically, you're doing a lot of things that a boyfriend and girlfriend would do. But but basically, what it is it's almost like a relationship without the label.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people and now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like now talking stages are kind of like not necessarily worthless,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a lot of people just do them because they want to have that relationship without the commitment or the
Mm-hmm.
label. And the
Exactly.
thing
True.
is now maybe one person actually does take it seriously. Like I'm talking to this person and I'm hoping that I'm gonna date them.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the other person's kind of like I'm talking to this person, I'm doing this, but I don't want to commit, so that's why I'm just talking to them.
Yeah.
And Loki, like the way I see it now is like if you're really doing that, like is it even worth it? Because at the end of the day, maybe let's say you're the person that wants to be in a relationship and you're
Mm-hmm.
talking to them and you want to commit to them, but the other person is not. Like you're kind of low key just doing all this girlfriend or boyfriend thing just
Mm-hmm.
to at the end not be anything.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people fail like in the talking stages because if you really think about it, none of dating like you watch all those old romantic movies and they will go out on dates and everything. That was basically what dating was.
Yeah.
It's like we're going out on dates and doing everything, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not necessarily like single. And at the same time, it's like I don't know if you should be loyal because the whole the whole thing of the talking stage is to get to know each other and see if
Yeah.
if you're
You
just
want
gonna
to
be
take it to
together.
a dating
But
perspective.
you, I mean, at the same time, it's like how can you really know if that's what you want if you're not talking to other people? And not
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna sound like it toxic, that it's be taken out of context. But like if you don't talk to other people and do anything else, how do you know that's exactly what you want? If you're not exposed to other options.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can definitely see like what you were saying, and like low key, like especially when you started getting to talking about it, you were low key cooking a little bit. Cause like for example, right, like me and my girlfriend, like when we got into our talking stage, right, we still like had a past. We still had like people that were in the circle, but it was like it's not necessarily about being disloyal in the talking stage, but it's about we're in the talking stage trying to figure out like, okay, do we want to take this to the next level? Do we want to become a couple? Do we like like you find your compatibility in that talking stage? I feel like too. So it's like it's more like whether you choose to be loyal in the talking stage or not, it kind of just reflects on you. But also, it's like the way I think about it is that in the talking stage, the reason that you kind of get into the talking stage with somebody is because you're trying to test out like how it would be with that person. Basically, you're getting like a I think of it as like a preview to what the dating experience could be like with that person. Even though
Yeah.
it could change, obviously it could change, and that change is kind of going to happen over time. But it's like a preview of what it would be like with that person. So it just ultimately comes down to like what you two want to do in the talking, like what you two communicate as like your talking stage. Because definitely there's a lot of talking stages too that kind of just happen and they don't go communicated with. And I feel like that's when you get like the okay, like well, I mean like we're not dating,
But
it,
we're doing a couple of stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just complicated. It's not
it's
necessarily that you
definitely
don't.
complicated.
It's not necessarily. I mean, I feel like obviously with every person it's different,
Mm,
and not just you. Like for example, maybe with one person, you had a great talking session or not. But I just feel like I don't know. Like I said, it's very complicated. Depends
yeah,
on every person. But the way I see it is like when I'm not gonna talking stage. What I think is I'm not expecting anything of you. I don't expect you to be all about me and just be
yeah,
talking to me because at the end of the day, first of all, you're not my girlfriend, or you're
yeah,
not the person. So, and I'm not in a since you're not my girlfriend or I don't have a label or you don't give me a label, like there's no
We're
reason for
not
me to
like
expect
tied.
anything from you. Yeah, there's nothing that really allows me to really ask anything of you.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like if that's what I'm say of you, like if I'm not gonna be expecting anything of you, then also don't expect anything of me.
exactly. Yeah,
And I think it just depends about communicating with the person, like you said, kind of like not necessarily setting like the rules of it, but also being understanding. All right, look, this is the way I see it. Like I'm gonna be talking to you, but also like don't expect anything. Or you know what, if we're gonna be talking, just know that I'm only gonna be talking to you. I expect the same thing.
hmm
Kind of like communicate on that aspect.
exactly. Yeah, no, I totally see your point because at the same time, it's like like when me and my girl were on the talking stage again once, it's like neither one of us necessarily like just completely isolated and cut off other people. It was when we got deeper into the talking stage and figured out that we like wanted to be together
Yeah,
that we made that commitment. So like what you're saying too makes sense because it's like it all comes to that communication because like from my perspective too, it's like if you guys are both on the same page with like, all right, like yeah, we're in the talking stage. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to cut out other people, but we're in the talking stage and we're gonna do things together, like to just test the waters. Kind of is
yeah,
like the testing period. Then like that makes sense too. But also, let's say like you have two people getting in a talking stage, right? And you have one person that's like all about that person, like not all about that person, but like they're really crushing hard and like they're like, all right,
yeah,
I want to take this to the next level with this person. Like, let me get to talking to them, let me get to know them, right? And then you have somebody that's like, well, like I want to talk to them, but it's like I'm not like I'm kind of talking to them with the intent that I don't want to be in a relationship. I want to like just kind of experience things and like I'll go experience things with other people.
yeah. Which
That person on the outside that also feels like that they feel a different way. They might view that and be like, well, you like to play around a lot. Like you don't seem like you really want a commitment. So why should I waste my time in this talking stage?
yeah,
So it just all depends
which
really
is
on
what
like
I was gonna ask you. You think it's if someone that's not, you think it's okay for someone that's not ready to commit to be on a talking stage?
I don't think it's a problem, really, because like
That's another
that's
thing
the
too.
thing.
For example, let's say for example, let's say
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
ready to commit to a relationship, but I'm starting to talk to a person, right?
hmm
Not that I am. I'm just, it's
yeah,
just an example, but maybe by talking to them, maybe it helps me realize
exactly.
that I am ready to commit on that. Because a lot of people also
They don't know
like I said, they just they don't know, and it's okay to not know.
exactly.
Like I feel like I've been in a situation where I didn't know myself if I wanted to be in a committed relationship, or they didn't know, and maybe I felt like I was ready, but they didn't
Exactly.
know. Like I myself, I feel like I've been in both scenarios,
Mhm.
and obviously it's a tough situation being involved because obviously as someone doesn't want to be committed yet, you don't want to hurt the other person, but
Mhm.
you also don't want to like
Lead
go
them
through
on too
something
long.
for too long, and
Don't
and,
want to go
and
through something.
unfortunately, like I said, I've done stuff,
Uh-huh.
and stuff has done to me, but it's like you it's that's what I'm saying. The talk is that you don't. It's just like you just really get to know the person. It's really
Exactly.
just about
It's
how
like a
the relationship
trial.
between you and them go. Because a lot of people they say, "Oh well, he was talking to this other girl." And it's like, well, maybe like I said, this is gonna sound a little touchy, but maybe he's just trying to figure out like what he wants, if he's really okay with you,
Mhm.
or
Yeah, and
checking
it's
out the options. And not necessarily that you're an option, but it's like it's just really hard.
yeah, and it just depends on like I said, communication is key. But like when you're in that talking stage, right? I don't think necessarily the talking stage means you are fully like committed.
Yeah, the same
It's
way
all like
like
a trial. Like once you like at least with my experience, right? When I got into the talking stage, it was like there was a certain point in time where we both could look at each other and be like, yo, like we want to do this. Like we want to make that commitment, right?
yeah,
And that's definitely like for someone who like you get into the talking stage with someone because there's a possibility that that could go somewhere. That's like almost like that's the end goal. But also like it's like it doesn't necessarily mean that you're fully tied down to that person yet. I
yeah,
think just your actions also speak a lot too, Like for example, right? Like if you're in a talking stage with, I go back to the point. If you're in a talking stage with somebody who views the talking stage as like they really want to do it so that they can like get into a relationship with this person and hope that like this person like they're compatible together and like they enjoy being with this person, this, that, and the third, and it could lead to them dating. But again, a relationship with somebody who's like out here and like, they just want to get out and like mess around with people. It doesn't necessarily mean that that person that wants to get out and mess with people is like wrong per se, but also it might mean that that person is not meant to be compatible with that person. So the talking stage is like all about, to me, where you figure out like the trial and error of like, okay, do you want to be with this person? Because I don't think it's wrong for someone that like gets in the talking stage but doesn't completely cut off like everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think they're wrong for that. You know what I'm saying?
I think really the problem is not what they do, is the fact that they don't know how to communicate. I
Exactly.
feel like what you really need to do to make sure that everything goes smooth is like be like, all right, you know what? These are my intentions,
Yeah.
or this is what my plan is. Not just kind of
Exactly.
like. And a lot of people like, when they try to bring up that it's hard to really have that conversation with
Mm-hmm.
them, because obviously
It
maybe
could be a
you,
hard combo.
yeah, because the thing is like maybe what I'm expecting you to say is not what you're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, um, but it's a conversation that you need to have, especially at the beginning. It's like, you
Exactly.
know what, like I mean, not necessarily at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe like after, like, let's say you go on one or two dates,
Yeah.
or like, it's moving forward. That's when you want to be like, all right, you know what, we're having fun, and let's say
Mm-hmm.
let's say I'm the one that wants to commit. It's like, you know what, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm thinking of maybe in the future commit. Obviously, I don't want to do that
Mm-hmm.
right away, but I think that's kind of where I see this going, and maybe the other person can be like, you know what, that's not where I see myself going. I don't see myself being in a relationship. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what I want, but
Exactly.
but they're like, but I do like hanging out with you. That's kind of where you really
Yeah.
want to. And a lot of people, like I said, they're afraid of having that conversation
Mm-hmm.
because they
But it
don't want.
has to be had.
Because yeah, but I'd rather have that conversation with you and know exactly what you're looking for, or for me to communicate what I'm looking for. Because I don't want to hurt you, but I also
Mm-hmm.
don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. No.
So
Yeah. No, I agree with
so
you.
so I rather much have that conversation and let the intentions be clear since the beginning, than just not know what to do, and then maybe they
Mm-hmm.
find out they're talking to somebody else, and then it hurts themselves more than really
Exactly.
what it is.
Because when you have that conversation too, it gives each partner a chance to really like, all right, be like, because if they hear that and they're like, all right, well, like I'm not really in that for that either, then it's like you had that conversation and then you guys can make a decision accordingly based off of that,
Yeah, and
like it was good for me in like my talking stage too, is that we had that conversation, we had our conversations, and we knew what our intentions were getting into the talking stage, so it was like
and it's
it
okay
made things
to
better.
be wanting to commit, or and it's also okay to not be wanting to
Yeah.
commit. I think, but it's really just about letting the other person know their intention, and
Exactly.
a lot of people might see it as like, oh man, he's just playing around with me
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't want to commit to me. It's like, no, he not necessarily. If he's communicating with you, and then it's like, it's up to you to really decide
If
if
that's what you want,
yeah,
but if
like
it's not,
if
then it's
you're if
like,
you're okay with just building something, and then eventually, and maybe in having that small possibility of doing something, or maybe not,
hmm,
you can continue doing it. But if you
exactly.
really just wanted to commit and you're not okay with just you know with being with someone that's not ready to commit, or kind of like talk to someone that's not ready to commit,
You
then
don't
don't
have to
do it.
stay, exactly, and that's why I said too, like it's a trial and error stage.
Yeah,
It's not gonna call for like specifics. It could go anyway. The whole idea of a talking stage is the possibility that it could or could not work.
yeah.
So you know it's just all about having that communication up front too, because then when you don't communicate, that's how people also get hurt, and that's how feelings get hurt, not only
Yeah,
just other people but yourself
yeah,
too.
and another thing too is like, let's say that person is not ready to commit. I don't think,
Hmm.
maybe if you were ready to commit and the other person wasn't, I don't think you should blame them and act like they played you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also wrong for sometimes for people to do that, because it's like they not necessarily played you, but and as long as they make their intentions clear, obviously, if
Exactly.
you find out through third parties or all
Yeah.
this stuff, like you find out shit, maybe they did play you. But if they're like upfront about it at the beginning, it's like,
Then
then and you shouldn't really blame them or anything. You should just be like, okay, you know
okay,
what,
like I understand
I
the
understand. I
situation,
see the
and if
situation. Yeah,
you decide whether you want to continue on with that and give it a chance, or you decide if you want to get out, and neither answer is wrong.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I think that's a great outlook to look at it, because you know if you went into the talking stage with somebody that didn't want to commit, with somebody that did want to commit, and it's like, all right, you're 6 months, 7 months into the talking stage, and it's like you guys have not really like moved anywhere just because you have like the two different balances. Then it's like, all right, like what's up? Like
Yeah, obviously
we're
when
so
it's
far
in
into the
long,
talking
you know,
stage,
it's like
and
at this point either are
it's
we gonna
like,
do it?
do you want to try to take this to the next level? Are you just with me to be with me? Are you just trying to hang? So it's important that you
Yeah,
have that clear communication from the
yeah, which is
upfront
why
too.
now like
Even if you don't know what you want fully, you know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
But you just you try to understand your own feelings and then express those, to the person that you're trying to talk to, because that's ultimately like the best way to have that communication and then be upfront with each other so every party knows what to like
Yeah,
expect kind of too.
yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. Really, it's just about finding the balance and what's it called? And that's just how love is, honestly,
Yeah.
bro. Like I don't know. Recently, I made a I made a little funny post on TikTok and on my Instagram story where it's like, just one of those stuff. Yeah, whatever. The people that saw it they know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. But it was mainly just me saying like, honestly, like when it comes to love, like you really gotta like really get to experience it. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are also they don't want labels or they don't want anything because they're afraid of getting hurt.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're like there, if you really want to experience real love, you really gotta get out there and try
Exactly.
everything. And even if you've been hurt before, like it's okay, like it's fine. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's how really love is because like you really a lot of people hold back a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
that they want to do or what they want to say. But I mean, what I learned from all my experiences, like just love the way you feel with the person and just act around them the way you feel and do
And be
whatever
honest.
yeah, be honest and be honest to yourself, be honest with them and try it out and don't be afraid of getting hurt because let's
Exactly.
say if you're afraid of getting hurt and you hold back a lot, maybe in the future you're gonna regret it.
Exactly.
It's much better to just put yourself out there and really
Yeah.
let it happen. Go through a
Exactly.
heartbreak or do it like even if go through experience it really, give it to a full and not be afraid of hold back because at least maybe if it doesn't work, uh, then at least you did
You
everything
try
you could.
and there's
Yeah.
it's potential that there's another opportunity.
Yeah,
It's just like
and
yeah.
that's just how love is. Honestly,
Exactly.
like, love is gonna hurt. Like love is always gonna
Mm-hmm.
hurt, whether you're in a stable relationship or not. I mean, like even when I was in a relationship, right? Like I had arguments. Like shit
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Exactly.
Love is not easy and simple. It's just like that's just how it is, and it's nothing. It's ever so easy,
Exactly.
and nothing always lasts forever. But really, the point is to make sure that you try everything that you can, and obviously learn to fall back in love, get heartbroken, like just accept it all and leave it all. Because at the end of the day, that's just how you're ever gonna you're that's how you're gonna find out real love.
Mm-hmm. And you'll find that you might find that person that that you guys have that real love too. But like it takes like not holding back too, because if you hold yourself back in a sense that like you're scared of being heartbroken, so you don't put yourself out there. You know, like you said, in the future you might regret it and be like, damn, like I didn't put myself out there, right? And I never found my like
Yeah, I never found out.
opportunity for
Yeah,
love.
because you were holding back because you were afraid to get hurt. But
Yeah,
just do it. Like
because
fuck it,
you
get your
can't.
heart broke.
Yeah,
Like and that's the thing too. Like I had my heart broken so many times, and I broken some hearts, and just how that's how it is. Like that's just how love is. Like it's never gonna be so easy, and you're never gonna be the perfect person for someone. And
exactly.
it's like it's gonna be complicated, but it's really just about learning how to love the
Learning
person
how to love.
and learning how to love yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people forget that you gotta really, one of the things that a long time ago I found this quote. I found this quote apparently by Will Smith, but I'm not sure if he did. Quote, but whatever. It was this quote that said, "If you're if you're able to love, if you're in a relationship to be happy, then you're doing it wrong because you should learn how to be happy by yourself first
Mm-hmm.
before you can go out there and make someone happy. If you're in
Exactly.
a relationship just because you want to be happy and that person makes you happy, you're selfish because you're just using them for your own
Exactly.
happiness. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's all about making sure that you're happy so you can learn how to be happy
Exactly.
with someone else as
And
well.
learn, and you gotta love yourself. Like if you don't, if without loving yourself, you're not gonna be able to fully love somebody else.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, basically the way I see it is like in an airplane when on like people that have been in airplanes, like whenever let's say the plane's going down, the first person that you need to put the oxygen mask is on yourself, so before you can
Mm-hmm.
help others. That's
Mm-hmm.
the way I see it with love. It's like you gotta learn how to love yourself first before you can learn how to love others.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I saw TikTok the other day too, and it was like a skit, but it was like this guy, and he was talking to himself, and he's like, "Oh, you're going out to help somebody else again?" He's like, "Mm-hmm." He's like, "Do you want to do it?" And he's like, "Mm-mm." He's like, "You know, you got videos to make for yourself. Like, you got bills to pay." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but you know." And then he's like, "Are you at least getting paid for it?" And he's like, "Nah." And it's like this whole skit is basically based around somebody who's doing all this stuff for others, and they never do anything for themselves, or they never like make
Oh,
sure that they're happy too, or they never have a focus on themselves. And that very much applies when you get into a relationship, because if
oh,
you get into a relationship and you always put that person first, you never take a step for yourself, you never are like, hey, all right, like I might just need like a little day, you know, or like, hey, like I got some friends that they want to hang out. I haven't spent some time with my friends in a while. Let me go hang out with my friends.
mm,
Or like, you know, you don't have that love or appreciation for yourself. It's gonna be hard to
yeah,
get through a relationship and really experience that love, because then you're always gonna be feeling a certain way based on like how your relationship operates, rather than also how you feel too and who you are as a person, because you're not
yeah.
gonna know who you are as a person, you know.
No, definitely, and I mean, it is true. Like with that, with relationships, you really gotta learn how to love yourself, and being there, because obviously, if you don't know how to love yourself, I feel like a lot of people have not. I don't want to like criticize anybody's relationship, but some people are, like kind of have like expect a lot of stuff from their partner. Like you always gotta be with me. You can only go out with me. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, bro. Learn how to love yourself, because that's how toxic relationships begin.
Yeah.
By not knowing how to love yourself, because you expect to do everything with this person. You expect to always be with this person and always do this and that. And that's just very like, like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, bro. Like if you're with your girl, like you should be allowed to have a boys' night out, and she should be
Yeah.
allowed to have a girls' night
Exactly.
out. Like, she's allowed to have other friends and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of people just expect so much, and don't really know how to do it, but it's just because they don't know how to really love themselves and
Yeah,
understand that.
and I think like we're still like a lot of us are still young. A lot of us are still learning. Like, you know, we're not gonna all have it figured out now. But the point too is also like when you get into love, you know, if you ultimately don't have that love for yourself and you're not willing to like learn with your person or learn like with yourself too, it's hard to really have a relationship that's not toxic,
Yeah,
because it's gonna produce toxic outcomes when you have it like that way. You know, you have to be willing to, you know, it's not to say that all of us don't maybe have an insecurity about something, or we, you know, feel a certain way about something, but it ultimately just takes being, you know, with a person and like really figuring out together. But you can't do that if you don't, you know yourself too, or you don't know what maybe things you have to work on, or you don't like have that love for yourself,
yeah,
because sometimes you have to be willing to accept like, all right, I was wrong on this, or like, oh, I gotta grow on this, I gotta
yeah,
work on this, you know, because nobody's gonna be the perfect person for they nobody's gonna be, you know, completely, you know, flawless in a sense,
yeah,
because it's like the idea of love and coming together is that you have two people that, you know, they love each other unconditionally and they're willing to work on themselves and work together to do better for each other.
yeah,
And when you have that on both parties, you have a love that is, it's like that's what love is to me, you know.
yeah,
I don't feel like, you know, you should, you know, you, like you said, you mentioned when you guys get to that understanding and you guys, you know, communicate and all that stuff, you know that it's okay to do certain things. You know that it's okay for you to go out on a boys' night. You know it's okay for you to go out on a girls' night. Basically, that's just like what it is to me. You know, I feel like when you have both partners that are willing to work on themselves, because nobody's expecting you to come into a relationship and be perfect. And even if you come into a relationship and you don't fully love yourself, right? It goes back to that quote, like, okay, you if you're being with somebody to be happy, like you're being selfish.
yeah,
But it's a matter of getting out of those ways as well, not
yeah,
staying in that, self. It's like, so that when you do get into a relationship with someone, you know, like you learn how to grow, you learn how to love yourself, you learn all of those things, so that you're not just staying in the same spot of, you don't have that love for yourself and you're looking for your happiness within that person, rather than you guys both bringing your happiness together to make something even
yeah,
better.
yeah, absolutely. And talking about toxic, I had this question that I was looking talking to my friend the other day, and it was kind of switching up the conversation a little bit. But do you think first is it okay to to check your partner's cell phone? And then also, do you think you're strong enough to go through it?
I definitely think that, like, personally for me, right, in my relationship, neither one of us have had an issue with each other, like checking each other's phones. And I guess it ultimately depends on like the partner.
Yeah.
Uh, for some people, a lot of people, like a phone is a sense of privacy, but also like what I feel like too is that when you're in a partnership, like you guys both like you have your own privacies too, but like if let's say like somebody's showing signs of doing this, that, and the third, right? Or even if you have like a slight feeling, right? And if my girl had like a slight feeling that I was doing something right, and she came to me and she's like, "Hey, like I'm feeling a certain way. Like I don't feel like you're being honest with me. Like, can I check your phone?" I personally like I don't have nothing to hide, so I'd be like this. But like for me, like if she did that to me, and like she's like like handing me her phone, I don't think I would check it because that already kind of like to me shows like, all right, like if you don't care, right, and you would show me like your phone too, I don't really have no reason to go through it too. And also, like, there could possibly like the reason for wanting to go through the phone is like you have a sense of maybe finding something that you don't want to see
Mm-hmm.
too. And I think that like it could potentially cause issues by going through a phone. So I
Yeah.
understand that part of it too. But also like the way that I look at it is like for me, I don't have no issue like giving up my phone because I know I don't have anything to hide. And
Yeah.
like for my girl, if she was like, all right, I would give up my phone too. She has nothing to hide. You see these couples that go on these like they get interviewed and they're like, all right, you guys should swap phones real quick for 1 second. And then you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
somebody that's like, nah, like I can't do that. Like I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? To me, that would be a reason to like want to check the phone more because it's like, why are you suspicious? And maybe that's just me and my own insecurities,
Yeah.
But like that's how like I would react to it. I'd be like, all right, like if you feel like you couldn't do it, it would kind of make me feel a little skeptical because like, what do you have to hide?
Gotcha.
When like the idea of like
I don't know.
being like, all right, like I could swap my phone with you
Yeah, I see it.
even if I
No.
don't like when somebody's when I'm in that position and we're like, all right, I can swap my phone with you
Yeah.
with no issue. Then at that point, I feel like I don't even have to check their phone. And so I
Yeah.
personally, I have never really felt any reason or desire to go through my girl's phone, and she hasn't felt any desire to go through my phone just because we like have that respect for each other, like we tell each other like we're honest with each other, and
Yeah.
ultimately, if you have that honesty and that trust together, then you really don't have a reason to go through your partner's phone. And it could also be a sense of like you wanting to go through your partner's phone could show that you
No,
don't trust
definitely.
your partner.
It definitely shows insecurity, and
Yeah.
I really like that you don't trust your partner when
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't know. To me, like the way I see is that I don't. First, I don't even think I would be willing to check
Mm-hmm.
somebody's phone just because of the fact. Maybe the thing too is like sometimes like you have conversation with your friends,
Like
not necessarily that you're cheating,
exactly.
not necessarily that you're cheating or anything. But let's say there's a conversation with your friend that maybe like you see 2 3 messages and you don't know the
And you
context
don't
of it,
know it.
and all of a sudden that kind of like gets in your head. Like
Exactly.
I'd rather not go through that situation and make a big deal out of nothing because the same way that she's allowed to have conversations with her friends, I'm
I'm
allowed to
allowed to
have
have
conversations,
conversation.
and obviously like I said, a simple text could get
Get
out of context so
exactly.
easily too. And obviously, I don't know. Personally, I just don't feel like their phone. And the thing too is like people can hide shit so easily.
Yeah.
So maybe what if they are cheating, but they just know how to hide it really well that you're not
Yeah.
even gonna find it. So there's not even a point on you like checking the phone.
Exactly.
If they're I rather I don't know. The way I see it is like there's no need for me to really do it.
I agree.
And if I have a feeling about something,
I'll come to you.
I'd rather just talk to you about it, and I'd rather have you be honest with me
Mm-hmm.
than me having
To
to
go behind your back or
that having
something.
check your phone,
Yeah.
or even if for me to ask, like
Exactly.
I'm never gonna be like I'm never gonna be the guy that's like, hey, let me check your phone.
Exactly.
It's like no, your phone obviously is your privacy. You know who you're talking to, and
Exactly.
the way I see it is like I trust you, and you know exactly what you're doing. If there's a reason why I don't trust you, I'm gonna tell you about it.
Exactly.
And if I have proof and you lie to me,
then
then I just know how to cut things out. But if it's just maybe something I'm just being worried and you give me you trust you tell me that there's nothing going on, then I'm gonna trust you.
yeah,
But
for sure.
but I'm never gonna be the person that's gonna be like, all right, let me go through your phone
Yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah, because that's just I don't know. To me, that's just the way it is, and I also don't expect it. I mean, if my like I said, if at some point I'm in a relationship and my girl tells me to look at my phone, I'm gonna be like, all right, you can look at it. I don't
exactly,
care. I don't care. I'm not hiding anything because when I'm in a relationship, I'm not gonna be keeping shit behind your back.
exactly.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, but also, I feel like if a girl would ask me to check my phone, I'm like, you can go through it, but like,
It just kind of seems like you don't trust
if
me
you don't
either.
trust me, like, tell me what you're thinking, what's on your
What's your
mind,
mind, and we can talk about it.
and we talk about it. But I rather, but yeah, obviously, I'd rather how much you tell me what's going on in your head than just be like than just out of nowhere just be like, oh, let me check your phone.
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Yeah,
bro.
you definitely explained that a lot better than I would like could, but I fully agree with you on that. Like I personally I believe that like was in the dark, was done in the dark, one day it's gonna eventually come to light.
Yeah,
So if somebody was to do something behind my back, like me and my girl, if she was to one day do something behind my back, I don't have no like I have never
that's
had
the
a
thing too.
reason
Like we
to
were talking
ask her.
about in the previous episodes, like you shouldn't really be worried about a person going behind your back because
Exactly.
like if they do, it's gonna come out eventually. And if
Exactly.
you're worried about it, like there's no point because you show that you don't trust them, and you shouldn't be with someone that's gonna
Exactly.
be they're always gonna be like, oh my god, I can't,
Questioning
and like
what you
oh I don't
do,
know, yeah.
worrying about like, oh,
That's
I
when
need
the
to see your
relationship, yeah,
phone.
that's when
What
the
are you like? You
relationship
know,
gets like, you know,
yeah,
it
like
gets messed up. And like I said, I made that mistake of actually doing it, and like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do that again
and
ever.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. And a prime example of this too is because like locations kind of get thrown in the same scenario with that. Me and my girl, when we first got together, we discussed each other. Like for the first like 4 or 5 months, we didn't have each other's location, and we both came together one day and we like discussed, and we were like, we both have our locations, not even to look at it and see what we're doing all the time or follow it up, but literally the only reason that we do have our locations is for safety reasons. And there's been situations that have come up where those locations having it have played in our favor because we couldn't like communicate because of something that happened. Like personally, like we both have each other's locations. I don't check my girl's location. If she goes and she's like, I'm about to go out with my friends and do this, like I'm not sitting here watching her every move.
Yeah,
I'm not sitting here down her back, like, all right, where are you going now? What are you doing?
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That happened to me once.
So,
That happened to me. No, they made me
dang,
get on that last 360
uh
shit,
huh.
bro. That was crazy.
But like, yeah, it ultimately like that's why it's location phone switching. It can be a sense of you don't trust your partner. You have to figure out what they're doing all the
No,
time. It could
I
be
think
used
location. I
all for
agree
the
more on
wrong
sharing it. I
reasons.
think because a lot of people just share like, for example, like I know like a lot of my friends just share their location with each other just because of safety
Exactly.
reasons. So I understand that you want to share it with the,
Yeah.
with your couple. And honestly, I don't mind sharing my location with someone because I think on the end of it, like you're always gonna see me at home or
Yeah.
at work. Like I don't be really doing anything else.
Exactly.
So I don't really have nothing to hide it.
Mhm.
And honestly, like obviously for me, the only thing that like when it happened, like for example, I was working like old experience when some girl made me get that 360 and it was crazy, but she was always
Yeah.
checking my shit and everything.
Yeah.
And then too, I was working landscaping, so I would be like going to different houses all the
Yeah.
time for
And it,
work,
and
and yeah,
it
it was
would it
crazy.
would cause like yeah.
Yeah,
I
so I mean,
totally
I don't have a
understand.
problem with it. I personally don't share my location with people like that just
Yeah.
because it's like you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
I don't need to have the check for it. But I mean, obviously, my partner at some point, if if I
Yeah.
get one in whatever, ask me for my location. It's like, all right, cool, I'll give it
Yeah.
to you. I don't mind saying no to that because
Exactly.
I'm not afraid of telling you where I'm at. I'm always gonna be honest with you on that
Exactly.
aspect. So
And that's how I look at it too. I feel like it could go both ways. And like, yeah, I'm in a life 360 with my homies too. You know,
no,
it's all for safety reasons. I don't got no reason. Like personally, it's not gonna make me feel better or make me like eager to know like exactly pinpoint where your location is at all times. So
yeah,
like for my girlfriend, she with her working, she works, like at a mall, right? So like one time some shit was going down and she let me know, right? Just us having that location, if some shit had went down and I needed to get to her, right? All it takes is a quick like, yo, I need help, like, can you come? right? And I don't have to be like, yo, where are you at? Send me the address, blah blah blah. This all I have
Mm.
to do is just like, even sometimes when I plug in my phone, it'll automatically go to her location. Like not go to it, but it'll show it on the maps, and I could start the navigation to her location,
Yeah.
right? So it just helps for safety reasons. Personally, I haven't felt any need that I have to look at my girl's location,
Yeah.
especially when she goes out with friends, or
Yeah,
like
it's like, I
even when
trust
she
you.
says she got things going on, because I trust her. Yeah, like I don't have any reason to believe that she's doing anything behind my back, and I feel like that's also the topic of when you get to some people that view locations like that, and they're like, well, I have to see what you're doing all the
Yeah.
time, and it shows that you don't have a trust for your person, you know.
Yeah.
So I can see it both ways. Like when you have like somebody that wants to share locations and somebody that doesn't, one person might view it as like, all right, so like what do you have to hide, but the other person might also view it like, so why don't you trust me? And that just automatically causes for confrontation, and it can cause for toxicity. So it just comes with a conversation with your
Yeah,
partner.
and like I
Back
said,
to
at
the
the end of the
phones
day,
too.
I think since we started the podcast and we talk about relationships, it always comes down to just the communication.
Exactly.
Just be able to communicate. I feel like a lot of people really forget that communication is the backbone of
Exactly,
everything.
bro.
So yeah, that's how I see it. And yeah, I mean, just to kind of finish it up, bro. Well, yeah, just guys, just learn how to love yourself, bro.
Yeah.
And girls too. I feel like sometimes girls can also be toxic. We had
Yeah,
a
anybody could be
Yeah,
toxic, bro,
bro. I mean,
sure.
we had a crazy experience on New Year's Eve, but I'll tell you after the
Oh
episode,
yeah,
just
for
because
sure.
I don't want to say
Get too
shit
much
about
on them.
someone.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll tell you what was good. But I mean, it's just, I mean, girls and guys can both get crazy, and it's
Mhm.
just like, bro, and it is definitely like I said, what we mentioned. It's hard at times with social media and all this other stuff that really it's all around the relationship that can cause problems.
Yeah.
But it's really just about learning how to communicate, learning how to love yourself, and doing other stuff.
Yeah, I
And I
agree
mean,
with you.
everybody does certain stuff to meet with their girl or do stuff, and everybody shows their love certain ways. So
Exactly.
it's all about learning. But yeah, I mean, and like I said, also guys, don't be afraid of fucking you know show love to your girls and stuff,
Yeah.
and look out yourself. And also, but like I said, also learn how to love yourself and shit. Like like we were talking earlier about how to raise like your daughter or your son. Uh, Definitely nowadays we definitely got to learn how to teach our daughters in the future to be strong women, and also
Mm-hmm.
teach our sons to be good men, because a good woman and a good man together, they can really
Yeah.
good stuff, and we can definitely make society better with that.
Yeah.
And also learn how to take care of yourself. you know
Exactly.
by the way, if you're talking about taking care of yourself, but this weekend, it's a different topic, but
Yeah,
this
for
weekend,
sure.
bro, I went out talking. I was talking to my friend and shit, and then I haven't seen her in a minute. And I was like, "Hey," but I know she does like cosmetology stuff and shit. And I was like, "Hey, fuck it." I saw she posted something on her story about doing facial and stuff. I was like, "Hey, fuck it, let me go get one."
Mm-hmm.
And bro, let me tell you about that shit, bro. That shit was gas, bro.
Yes.
It's so crazy because I never had. I take care of my skin and
Yeah,
do
for
stuff, and I
sure.
do my own personal skincare at home, and take care of do my own personal hygiene on my own. But
Mm-hmm.
going to a place for that kind of stuff, bro, it
It's
is
a
crazy,
changer, bro.
bro. You just literally, it's like so smooth. Like they play a little music for you. You're so relaxed. All
Mm-hmm.
this probably for your own hygiene, and it was such a great experience, bro. I'm definitely gonna have to go back for do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was just a good experience. But I mean, just saying out of nowhere, just guys, don't be afraid to
Afraid to
take care
take
of
care of yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
do take care of yourself, bro. Go get that facial done.
Yeah.
Shout out to her though. She knows who she is. She definitely she hooked it up with the facial, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. Definitely, like, I feel like a lot of us guys grew up in a society where, like, you know, a lot of guys didn't really know too much about, like, take care of themselves, or, like,
Yeah,
what, some people consider certain things feminine, certain things
like
not.
bro,
And it's like, bruh,
it's a really feminine though. I mean,
just,
think about it. I don't know. I feel like we're in a society where everybody's talking. Oh no, bro, you need to you need to be strong and this and that, blah
it's
blah
like,
blah. There's all this toxic masculinity, but it's
yeah,
like, bro, no, learn how to fucking take care of yourself.
exactly.
Your girls, like girls, are probably gonna respect you more if you're
Yeah,
not able to take that, because I think masculinity doesn't come from what you do. I mean, it does, but not necessarily. Like, it's not very about. It's not about fucking if you're painting your
having
nails
a
or you get
pride
facials
or
done,
that,
or
yeah.
if you even if you use makeup or you take care of all this
Yeah.
stuff. It's about what are your values, what are you doing with
Exactly.
other people, how do you treat other people. That's
Exactly.
really what
That's really good.
masculine
Makes
means.
sense. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like if you want to take care of your face and do hella skincare, all that shit
Yeah,
doesn't make
like
you feminine.
fucking
If you want to do your nails, bro, I mean shit. Like I get clear coats and then sometimes I'll
yeah,
do
bro.
design, bro.
It don't matter,
It
but that
don't.
shit look
I
hard.
personally like for me, bro, is like I'm not sitting here like going, oh shit, like I decided I wanted to do a design on my nails. That makes me less of a man.
No,
And personally,
that
like
doesn't make you less of a man or more of a
it
man.
just
It's just personal stuff that you like. I think what really makes you a man is, like I said, the values that you have, how you treat others, how you respect women, how you
yeah,
respect kids.
for
What
sure.
are you willing to do? Like, there's other stuff that really puts into what being a man is than like like getting a facial or doing your nails or doing other stuff. Because at the end of the day, that's just personal care. It's not. There's nothing to it.
Yeah,
It's like
for sure, bro. Yeah,
it's all about learning all that stuff. And there's people that want to act on masculine. Nah, bro, I just hit the
I can't do that,
gym
man.
and I'll do this and that.
Yeah,
But it's
it's
like,
like
bro, but you're a fucking asshole to
yeah,
everybody. Like
exactly.
you're all this, but like there's nothing to respect about you than whatever it is, or you don't treat your family right, or whatever. Like
Yeah,
shit like that. It's like, nah, bro. The
definitely.
real men know exactly what to do, and
Yeah,
like I said, it's all different. I've definitely this session took a little twist at the end,
oh
but
yeah, for sure.
no, it was definitely a good session, bro. Anything else you want to mention before we dip?
Definitely one thing I want to leave y'all with, bro. And especially for like we're talking about toxic masculinity and shit, bro. People in general, bro, just don't be afraid. Like if you got something you want to do, bro, don't let nobody tell you like, oh, you're gonna be a certain way if you do it, bro. If you want to do it, bro, just do it. Even if you try it and you're like, all right, fuck, I don't want to do that no more. Like, just be you, do yourself, bro. Learn to love yourself, love who you are, figure out who you are. Don't let like it's one thing, like it's nothing wrong with being like insecure on certain things, but what makes that insecurity bad is when you start to like you
Reflect it on
project it in
others.
a bad
Yeah,
way.
projecting it. Yeah.
So just it's a more about like recognizing what your insecurities are, recognizing who you are, the things that you worry about, and just learning how you could do better for yourself too to challenge those and like really build and grow off of those because it's all about growth. It's not, nobody should be shamed because they have an insecurity on something, but the minute that you start to project that in a bad way, that's when the insecurity can become toxic or just even
Also,
thoughts on that in general. So really like especially like for some of these guys out here who were taught that they got to grow up big and strong and high, don't talk about your feelings, you can't cry, you can't do that, bro. Really just get in contact with yourself and your own feelings,
no,
bro.
bro.
Because when you do that,
That's all you
bro,
gotta do.
when you do that, you really start to learn how to love yourself, and then you start to learn how to love other people.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
that
it.
will make you definitely a better man. Like I said, even myself, I can't say that I'm perfect. I don't
For
think none
sure.
of us can. Uh, but and I made mistakes, but it's all about growing. It's all about understanding and through experience, obviously, little by little. Depending on your age, whether you're
Oh yeah,
younger
for
or whether
sure.
you have more experience with different stuff, or sometimes it doesn't even matter about age. I know some people that are grown and definitely don't have much experience as some other people, and it's really just about where the situations that you go through and everything that you put yourself around. But honestly, always at the end of the day, you always gotta do what's best for you and always understand that everybody makes mistakes, everybody does everything. So you just learn to
Exactly.
accept them, learn how to be better, self reflect all the time. Especially coming into this new year that we're already starting. We're already what 2 weeks in,
Yeah.
3 weeks almost. Like just know that if you have stuff in your mind and shit that that you want to do, or maybe that's holding you back on you, like really think about it and self reflect and see how you can
For
become
sure.
better. Whether it's maybe like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm not taking enough care of myself. See what you're lacking and try to become
Yeah.
better. Maybe I'm not necessarily the best partner, the best boyfriend, girlfriend. See what you're lacking. Maybe communicate with your partner and see how you can become better.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm too toxic with this, maybe this person that's around me, not necessarily like a relationship, but maybe like a friend or
Even
family member
family. Yeah.
that's dragging you down. Like, how can I get myself out of there so I don't become, so I don't get bad influence or
Hmm.
all this stuff. Just always be. It's okay to self reflect. It's okay to make
Exactly.
mistakes, but it's all about becoming better. And
Exactly.
that's all it is, man. I mean, little by little, we always talk about different shit, but what we always we preach is there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
There's always room to be better, and making mistakes is okay as long as you're doing what you want and you become, whether you're a girl or a guy, you become a respectful woman or a respectful man.
don't be afraid of growth, bro. Don't be afraid of change, and don't be afraid to
Don't try
put
new
down your
things either.
pride
Yeah.
and ego for the sake of your friends and your family and your relationships around you, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Like sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, like you can admit when you're wrong. You can admit that you did something. You can admit that you can grow, and that goes a long way. It really does.
Definitely does. All right, bro. It was a good session.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
for
guys. You
sure.
guys made it all the way to the end. We appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
know,
we gonna be getting this
we
room
go.
decked out pretty
Yeah, for
soon.
sure. Pretty soon, we're definitely gonna start buying shit out. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, it's not gonna be all this blank shit anymore. Little by little, though, we're getting into it.
I'm glad to have a new spot for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely happy with the new spot. I hope you guys are enjoying the new spot. I hope you guys like this session. You know, let us know your opinions and everything that we talked about in the comments.
Yeah.
On the clips too. You know, go show some love to our socials. You know, we always put that out for them. And
you know,
like I said, we hope you guys enjoyed this session, bro.
It's Motion Mixtape, and you know, we out.